Hello YouTube, back once again with my Banner Saga 3 playthrough, and even though I was bloody and beaten, it took about 2.5 hours, I finally got through the last chapter, and the timer seems to have stopped, so I'm hoping that means that's the end of having to keep going back to Arboring to see how much worse things can get. Anyway, we defeated, I forget what his name is, the main evil Varl dude, defeated him, he's dead, we hopefully kept the darkness to the inner city wall and defeated that boss. So here we go, part 7 or chapter 7. What chapter 7 of this game? I forget what chapter 1 was. Chapter 23, I think. Anyway, let's go. Quickly, the top of the tower just up these stairs. This is crazy. I still can't believe that's an actual sun. And you're really going to put it back in the sky somehow? Ivan will. Juno, there has to be some other way. I can't. You can. We've come this far. Wait, Juno, wait. If this is really happening now, give me a moment. Juno and Ivan embrace one final time. Ivan whispers something meant only for her. And then you are forced to move on. Okay, that's... yeah, good. Yes, no timer. They're just... well, that's ominous. But anyway, there doesn't seem to be a timer anymore. Everything seems to be going fine. Just, please God.
The world lives or dies here. This is it.
Are we having another boss fight? I don't know if I'm prepared for that. Oh, please God, tell me that there's no boss. We have to fight the giant snake? Is that the final boss of the series? Oh God. Just hit me. Set up the tower, Juno sits upon the pedestal and Ivan reluctantly begins his task. Juno hovers in the air, immobilized. She looks peaceful as if finally letting go of the burden she has carried this far, when you hear a familiar rumbling. Oh no. You're not mad about us ripping you apart multiple times, right? The serpent raises its tattered head to the tower top. It speaks in an ancient tongue as before. Begone, creature, you don't even have the strength to crush this tower anymore. The serpent continues its low, undulating speech, like smoke rolling over seawater. Ivan stops, he's listening. Gorthus Svavel. What does it want? It is giving up. It wants to make a deal. Have a prophecy of extinction, it says. The darkness will lift and it will spare Arboring. It consumes only half the world. Half the world in exchange for what? Juno's energy. If I release it to the serpent, Juno will be gone, but she won't suffer. You can tell Ivan is seriously considering it. You're going to trust this thing to keep its word? I am negotiating with it. Negotiate with me. Ivan returns his attention to you with frustration on his face. Behind him, the serpent slithers in resentment at being ignored. Don't you understand what is happening here? How could I? It's been nothing but lies and secrets since we first met. What choice did we have? Try to imagine if I told you the truth when we met. It was hard enough convincing anyone to listen in the first place. Back in Stockholm, when I begged you to wait for Juno, how long did you wait? Would you have been so quick to abandon Brooke or Alette? All I did in Einefort to save the Varl from extinction? If you knew the truth, you'd have drowned me in the lake yourself. I don't even trust you to save yourselves. We could have We waited because we trusted you. True enough, but only until you had to consider your own discomfort. What's the point of this, Ivor? So brothers and clansmen can keep killing each other over petty disputes? So Varl and Drudge can go on to destroying each other over ancient history? Even after we realized the Drudge were only fleeing the darkness, same as the rest of us. Even after discovering a Drudge child dying in the snow, an infant. Everyone was ready to slaughter it like a pig. It was wrong, but what's done is done. That's what I'd expect from you. From what I hear, you've had a practice of killing dredged children before. Is that really what you want to argue right now? If you're going to ask me to weigh the fate of the world against Juno, then tell me why I should care. The serpent slithers anxiously. It is not accustomed to being ignored, but Ivan continues in spite of the danger. And we both know how this world really is. Remember Dangler's Godstone? That old woman lies to our face about who attacked who, then she mocks us for not butchering the stone hurler on sight. And even with the truth laid so bare before us, there was a debate. How can we hope to overcome this kind of spite and ignorance, that hatred? What are we fighting so hard to preserve exactly? I might agree if it were all nothing but misery. The fleeting moments of joy outweighed the misery, Ivor? You don't know the depths of it the way I do. There was a woman near Orsma River after we somehow survived crossing the chasm. Some of her own clansmen had tied her to the stake, which, they screamed, she was meant to starve to death. I could still see her face, the torture and the pain. Oh, how many days she had hung there starving before we arrived? To be honest, I do not remember. Oh, but I do. Maybe those men lied, or with the sun stopped, maybe they miscounted. She had been there at least 7 days already. I could feel her agony in the tapestry. According to their own absurd rules, it proved she wasn't a witch. She should have been freed. Can you imagine suffering like that for a world that doesn't even remember you? That's what this is about, is it? This is about Juno. You're right, it is about Juno, but why shouldn't I be the one to decide what happens to her? Ivan seems only partially convinced by your answer, still questioning himself. Worse, the coils of the serpent are wrapping tighter around the tower. You can feel its malice growing. When we found Juno's body smashed and broken on the frozen sea, I saw that same fate for her as the poor woman starving to death, suffering and alone, forgotten. Everyone else was so quick to give up on her. I'm grateful that you did not, but what you're asking me to do now? I must sound pathetic. I realize it has been it has to be hard to sympathize. But maybe of all people, you can, Ivor. When you stood against Bello on the bridge at Einfor, I finally recognized you, and I knew what you had done to Reyes and his child. You followed us both to Borsgard to finish the job. What would you give to have a let back? Don't make Juno suffer an even worse fate, please, Ivor. Trust me to find a solution. Ivan turns back to the serpent, his body radiating immense power as he speaks to it again. Alvin gives you a severe look as if to say he lies. You recall her plan to complete the ritual in place of Ivan. Going to do something, it has to be now. Ivan, this isn't what Juno wanted. Ivan again stops speaking at the serpent, but this time he turns to you with sorrow instead of anger. Juno is everything this world deserves. Instead, you got me. I'm so tired, Ivor. Courage. This was the hard part. Forgive me, Juno. I'll love you always.
I've never seen anything like a sun coming to life. And I hope I never will again. Stuck with him, just a speck so far above our heads was Juno, who turned the darkness into light. Ivan did not want to leave the sun behind as we departed the inner earth. I expect he will return there often. No warp crossed our path on the long trek home. They have all turned to ash. And now, we are coming to this journey's long end. The same thought rattling around my head the whole way. Do I dare to hope?
Hopefully. Well, at least we gotta talk things out with Ivan. I said I was really gonna say they seriously do not give you the option to say this is what Juno wanted. I'm gonna rip my hair out. Who is this? And where are we?
This is the place I see in my dreams. This is where I helped my father build our house. And where I buried him. This is where I met Altis, my wife, and Ivar, my best friend. And this is where Alette was born. I'm home.
Enjoy your eternal slumber, Rook. You certainly deserve it.
Is it really you, Alette?
Aw.
It's really me, Dad.
I'm so sorry, Alette. I failed you. I couldn't protect you. I never wanted this. Leaving you alone.
Oh, Dad. I wasn't alone.
The weight never bothered me, husband. Do you remember when there was a night sky like this? Each point of light is a different fate for different people. I've been watching them a long time. Some people go to prepare for an endless battle. Others go to an eternal feast. The brave go where they want to be.
Aw.
That's how I knew you'd come back to us.
Oh, that's it? No epilogue? Like, what happened to the... basically just the rest of the world? I mean... I hope there's an epilogue if I sit to the end of the credits, but, I mean, either way, though, yeah, that was the Banner Saga 3, though, way better than Part 2, I can tell you that. Yeah, I mean, this one, even this game seemed to have ignored Chapter 2 for the vast majority of it, I remember, I started the video saying, wait, I chose to sack the city at the end of the second game. I wanted to, because I was told to abandon my Varl, and I didn't want to do that, to get into the city, and I killed the king, I at least severely damaged the king, and then it just seemed to ignore it for the most part, but, that, oh, wait, oh, maybe this is the epilogue. It's almost hard to believe they really did it. Whatever it is. But the sun's actually moving again. For a long time, things were looking pretty hopeless. The gods are dead, the world turned to dust, and still we survive. What now? Time passes. Life will return. Grass and green will sprout from the dust. I believe there are other survivors, far in the north, perhaps huddled around Godstones. South of the darkness there may still be horseborn fleeing across the fields, or ships of men, or dredge without sunder. So we rebuild. I just wish that Rook and Alette could have been here to see this. Something tells me part of them will. Elio glances knowingly at your belly. For a long time now I've been thinking of an epic poem. You'll never guess the inspiration. Would you care to hear what I've got? I think that would be an absolute... I think that would be absolutely appropriate right now. Elio smiles and draws his flute from around his back. He sings with a brightness in his voice. Only the sun has stopped, cut with the keen-edged sword. Little did they sleep, lest they not come home. Weary, the weight of the sun, of our bones, the hills, the slayer and the slain. From their homes must all flee and cast their hone into the air. To speak in all tongues where a foe may lurk, the destined day shall come. The fetters will burst, brothers fight in kinship stain. And in the fear quake all, the true hero comes reluctantly, raising high their shining lights. Alas, the sea is still dead and wide, the hounds are a-hungered. We live as we will live, with the mighty grief that was ours and theirs. Only we few remember it now. Elio gives a little cough to indicate he's done. It's not bad. but I could use a couple more verses at the end there. Elio laughs. Ah, you're right. It certainly could. Wait, what is that? Do you see it? You squint into the ashes of twisted lands spread out across the horizon. Something there is moving. It looks like a line of people, and at the front... Is that Ivor? Oh good, so there was an epilogue. So, yeah, that was the Banner Saga 3. Like I said, way better than Part 2. I'd say probably the best of the entire trilogy. This game gave you the true feeling of desperation I feel the entire series was going for. Just that ending slog, that ending slog, right? That saying the last chapter, being forced to just have your choices have a timer, give you a timer, and just seeing that timer tick down, not knowing how far away you are from your destination was. That was a truly brilliant gameplay mechanic. I really, what is it, yeah, and I did really just love the ending. I did love how, like, I'm sure there's people who say, oh, I saved Rook, and, like, I was able to, like, have, like, a large enough amount of time so that I never had to, like, go back once into Arboring in the second to last chapter. Honestly, I prefer this ending, since it was the story of the apocalypse. Just the fact that people do have to die, that there was desperation. I'm glad I've been told things could actually get worse in Arboring. I liked where mine stopped. How it stopped with me finding a boss that got us just that much more time, and Rook dying, being reunited with his family, and finding peace in death. Oddlief becoming the new leader of the clan, and her being pregnant with Rook's child, just a hope to our new generation. Yeah, I really did like the ending to this. So if I had to rank this series, I'd definitely say 3's the best. I'd say 1 is a close second, because I really did love the ending to 1, just having to choose who lives and who dies. The two of the main characters, who's gonna live and who's gonna die, to save the day. And 2, like I said, it just has the issues that middle chapters have with a lot of trilogies. It kind of just punted having a climax and just said, oh, we'll just deal with all that in Part 3. It just kind of made me feel like, what was accomplished in Part 2 exactly then? But anyway, yeah, that was the Banner Saga. Do I really, yeah, great trilogy of games. I definitely say, definitely worth a try. That I do like how the final part of the game was not a big final boss, but, well, there was the boss against the evil Varl. I can never remember that guy's name. What is it? I liked how it ended with, I liked how it didn't end with, like, basically a giant one last boss or something like that. It ended just with you having to convince, wow, just forgot his name, the mage guy, just, yeah, they convinced him to try to kill the serpent and just release Juno, and, I thought that was an effective way to close it, and I was so glad. I was about to say, if there is seriously not an option for why he should do this, it's like, the option, I was about to say, is there certainly not the option, it's what Juno wanted in all this? I'm going to I'm going to literally just have to punch something, because I was like, that is all I wanted to say, like, look, it's what Juno wanted, she knows what she's doing, just, you love her, do what she says, oh yeah, that's the only thing I hate about the second game. Oh my god, the boss in the second game was so fucking awfully broken. The one that, like, went into dead enemies, and then, like, you had to fight the enemy to release them, then you could attack it. Like, yeah, it was a good concept, but it was so poorly handled. Like, there was just the whole thing that, like, yeah, you would have to kill the enemy, and like, when you killed the enemy, if it was standing on the spot where you killed it, and then it was your turn, like you got the next turn, that would have been fine. But just the fact that, like, when you kill the enemy, you could literally just warp to the back of the fighting arena and, like, be behind a line of enemies. And then just, oh, is this another epilogue? Oh, shit, wait. Sorry about that. Guess they don't, my computer doesn't count this as the game running, as the screen running, but, thankfully, it's just credits now. I like that. I've heard Liam and Asby, God Zooks, we did it. What is it? Someone named John Watson. That's great. But what is it? Yeah, no, just like it could warp behind, like, or like it, or just like it that, and like it got sometimes, like, when you defeated it, it would like beat the enemy. It got the next turn, so it would just like one shot whoever was standing there. It was just a fucking disaster of a battle. Enough of that. Let's stop talking about the issues with the second game. Let's just talk about God. That was a really good closure to this trilogy. I guess anything else I want to say? No, I really thought I'll what is it? Alright, this was a Kickstarter game, wasn't it? Stoke special thanks. I do. Well, yeah. What is it? Yeah, I really don't have much else to say, I think. Just that was a very appropriate ending. It was, Rook dying, being reunited with his family in death, Ivan, respecting Juno's wishes, even though with the temptation, putting her back to save the world. Anything else? What else? Yeah, and that's the ending. Oddliev becoming the new leader of her banner, and is pregnant with Rook's child. Yeah, I guess that, and just them saying, a lot was lost, but there's hope. We can rebuild. So yeah, that was the ending to the Banner Saga trilogy. Let's just appreciate all the people that put down money so this could happen. Oh my god, how many I keep forgetting, there's so many people in this kind of thing. Oh, we're only on the C names. How much further does this go? Is there... Oh, cool, right, you can just scroll through them. Scroll. Sorry guys, I appreciate you. But, there's a lot of you. Gotta get to the end here. Keep scrolling, just keep scrolling. Any moment now. Thank you for... You're welcome, Stoic. I didn't enjoy experiencing the Banner Saga. It wasn't with you. I played this game after it came out, but a while after it came out. But I'm glad I experienced it. Normal difficulty and keep it together. Yeah, guess that. Well, Guess that's it. That's the Banner Saga, end of the Banner Saga trilogy. Definitely a good one to go out on. YouTube, as always, please like and subscribe. I'll think of another game to play soon, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.